day about the products y'all.
Well, hop aboard the Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll.
Hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
That's right, folks. Absolutely free. Head over to mypillow.com, support an American-made product, support our platform as well as a great patriot and Mike Lindell. Make sure you go over to mypillow.com. You can get a lot of stuff there, and it's time to spruce up, right? Replace those old bed sheets, get some new pillows, sleep like a baby at night. And that's what you can do if you head over to mypillow.com. Welcome back and happy Friday. I hope you're all having a good Friday. Memorial Day weekend, guys. Memorial Day weekend. So hopefully you guys got some plans for the weekend. Do something. Honor those. Memorialize those. And so I just want to say thank you for everybody tuning in. If I could ask a favor, if you could hit that like button, it would help us out quite a bit. Make sure you share this out. Let me jump into the chat and see who's here right now. We got Trina in the house. Hello, Trina. How are you doing? We got Texas Bigfoot says, howdy, y'all. We got JH Candy Bar in the house. Holy cow. Number 2. Made it number 2. Tomorrow, you'll be number 1. Let's see. Pixie's in the house. How are you doing, Pixie? Old Uncle Bill, he's back. He's back. We got to make sure the security guards keep him away from everybody. He's been rough and tough. A little tumble there. Red Wave. Red Wave is in the house. Let's see. Happy birthday, Red Wave. Happy birthday. Thank you for tuning in on your birthday. I appreciate that. Let's see. Who else we got? Jan Garner made it in the house. Jan, how are you doing? Hope everything's going well. Rockstar's in the house. What's up, Rockstar? How are you? Let me go down to the bottom here, see if there's any newbies in here. Julius jumped in. Nola jumped in. Susan jumped in. Thank you. And once again, happy birthday to Red Wave. Happy birthday. Enjoy your day. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I always... As you get older, birthdays are a little different because, when you're younger, you're going to get all these presents and everything you want. And then, then you're just hoping for a good meal when you get a little older. So I always look forward to a good meal. Steak, something good like steak. But we got some things to talk about today. Thank you once again for joining us. We got some Clown World stuff since it is Fun Friday. We got some other stuff regarding Harvard. Yesterday, we talked about how Harvard dogs out the front door. Talked about how Harvard, I might have to close that window here in a minute. And Trump revoked their ability for foreign students. They gave them plenty of warning, plenty of opportunities to work with the administration. The Trump administration is just trying to clean up the college campuses. We'll talk about what a judge did today, which we told you yesterday would be coming. I didn't think it would come this fast, though, man. Those activist judges, they just on top of it. And a whole lot more. But I do want to see something. I did see something today, and you guys remember the day this came out. We put this on there. I don't even remember what day it was. I could go back and look at it. But how many remember this post here from the White House? It says, "We are intent on not letting Omicron disrupt work and school for the vaccinated. You've done the right thing, and we'll get through this. For the unvaccinated, you're looking at a winter of severe illness and death for yourselves, your family, and the hospitals you may soon overwhelm." How many remember this? That, like, when we forget about a lot because, I can't remember. I'll get into that in a minute, but we see so much stuff. We forget about so much stuff, right? We're in a totally new news cycle with social media. Usually when a big event happened 15 years ago, you would hear it on the news. It would stick in the news for a little while, right? But now with social media, what was a big news story 2 days ago is gone today. Because, again, we are inundated, and this isn't by design or anything else. It's how it's working right now. We are inundated with new topics, and every day it seems like something crazy is going on, and we focus on that. But I remember this day. We went live after this came out, and what a scam this whole thing was when you think about it. It says we are intent on not letting Omicron disrupt work and school for the vaccinated. Remember how I don't know if you guys are a true blood, but I've never been. I never took the jab. I was adamant against it. You guys remember we used to do live streams when we were on all the platforms, and we wanted to talk about things. We had to go just to Rumble back then. But for the unvaccinated, you're looking at a winter of severe illness and death for yourselves. And now there's actually been studies that come out, and maybe we'll do a special, maybe it'll be in our next live, because Fun Fridays are usually Friday. Today, there's not a whole lot of stories breaking, so we can maybe cover this, but some research has came out, and I think they actually talked about it on Capitol Hill this week, about how many deaths were caused by the COVID jab. And I want to say it was, one of the reports was like 673,000 deaths due to the COVID jab. And I don't know if that was just in the United States, if that was worldwide, but I just find it interesting. And I seen another screenshot today that showed the flu. You remember how the flu disappeared during COVID? Everybody that had the flu, they just labeled it as COVID. And I just find that absolutely crazy that we went through this. And I'm hoping and I'm praying for accountability for this. COVID was probably the biggest scam. I think it's right up there with Biden's health. Those two things I think are pretty big. Now let's get into some Clown World stuff. More trans violence. Imagine that. More trans violence. Rhea Jasmine, a man pretending to be a woman who uses the they, she pronouns, was arrested and charged with second-degree murder after allegedly stabbing his wife to death in New Hampshire. The media are all referring to him as a woman. Of course they are. Take a look. One look and you can see that probably things aren't all okay. That's not hair dye. That's the fungus growing out of their brain. It says update on suspicious death investigation in Plastow, New Hampshire. It says Attorney General John M. Formella, New Hampshire State Police Colonel Mark B. Hall, and Plaistow Police Department Chief John Santoro announces further information related to the May 18, 2025 suspicious death. It says that approximately 6:13 a.m., officers of Plaistow Police Department responded to a residence on Old County Road in response to a 911 call. Upon entering, police discovered Margaret Jasmine, 39 years old, lying on the ground deceased. She appeared to suffer from a stab wound. Upon searching the house, police also encountered Margaret Jasmine's spouse, Rhea Jasmine. Rhea Jasmine was only partially responsive and appeared to be suffering from several injuries. Rhea Jasmine was transported to the hospital. A child who lived at the home was physically uninjured and is safe at the time. Last night, an arrest warrant was issued for Rhea Jasmine, charging her with one count of second-degree murder for recklessly causing Margaret Jasmine's death. Again, this doesn't need to shock anybody. I don't think it shocks anybody. But it's just incredible because we keep finding these freaking people, man. And I guess the good thing, and we'll get into that, is we're starting to take away their ability to pretend to be something they're not. Like, you can do what you want. What you do in your home, what you do, even in public, you could do what you want until it interferes on my right to truth, right? Until you want me to lie for you and call a man a woman. Then you're asking me to lie. And that's not going to happen. It's not going to use my tax dollars to do gender mutilation anymore. I mean, there's a lot of things coming on. Check this one. Highland Park, Michigan teacher Vincent Weaver accused of grooming and sexually assaulting a child. Hear about it every day. We got an issue with these pedophiles in our schools. Says he allegedly sneaked into a school event disguised as an elderly woman while on suspension for a sex toy falling out of his bag in class. So let me get this straight. This dude looks like a dude. Pretty sure it's a dude. This dude is suspended. Why somebody would need to take a sex toy to a children's school is beyond me. I could tell you why they do it, but I think you guys know. And it says, all assaults allegedly happened at school events over 4 months. Take a look at this person, and I just, this is an epidemic going on in our school system, but this guy literally dressed up as a female, as an old lady to get into an event. That's how crazy. I mean, these people cannot be rehabilitated. I'm sorry. I just don't think they can be rehabilitated. And then you have Democrats that see this and they just turn a blind eye to it. I don't know why they don't want accountability or want our children to be safe. How about this one? This was a tweet from Harmony Dillon. She says, one day we are all going to look back at this madness and mock the nutcases pushing this unnatural and gaslighting agenda. I'm going to go ahead and get started early on this. Gotta love Harmony Dillon. And listen to what she was referring to, which is a New Hampshire Senator, Deborah Altschiller. And listen to what she compares right here in her statement.
But it was a moral and constitutional fix. As we weigh the merits and morality of this legislation, I ask you to join me in looking backward so that we might see more clearly the path ahead. In 1896, the United States Supreme Court delivered one of the most devastating rulings in our nation's history, Plessy v. Ferguson, which we heard a little bit about. In upholding the constitutionality of segregated train cars, the court reasoned that separating Black and white passengers by law did not imply inequality so long as the facilities were equal. That phrase, separate but equal, became the legal fiction that upheld decades of state-sanctioned discrimination. We now recognize Plessy for what it was, a moral and constitutional failure. We understand that separation, when imposed by law, is itself a declaration of inferiority. We understand that when the state decides who can belong where, based on identity, not conduct, it does more than divide space. It divides dignity. And we understand that laws passed in the name of privacy or public order can be and have been used to marginalize the vulnerable. 148 is not about train cars, but it is cut from the same cloth. It tells transgender Granite Staters, you may live among us, but in certain spaces, you must step aside. You must use different facilities. You may not compete with your peers.
Listen to what she's doing. She's saying once again, going back in history where we had segregation, and saying that a male pretending to be a woman is discriminated against because a man can't compete with, or a male can't compete in female sports. Listen to that.
You will be treated according to what the state says you are, not who you know yourself to be. Supporters may argue that this bill does not discriminate. It merely classifies. But that was Plessy's very argument. The court in 1896 said segregation did not stamp Black Americans with a badge of inferiority unless they interpreted it that way. And we all know how wrong that reasoning was. And it behooves us to remember that.
These people will go down in history books as just as mentally ill as the mental illness they are promoting. That is beyond disgusting. And one thing I'm just so happy we passed the big, beautiful bill. And instead of using your tax dollars now to further the trans cult agenda, we are taking away money. They're not going to be able to mutilate themselves on taxpayer dollars.
Medicaid will no longer be used to pay for barbaric gender mutilation procedures on minor. Medicaid will no longer be used to pay for barbaric gender mutilation procedures on minor children. And the 1.4 million illegal aliens who are currently improperly receiving Medicaid benefits will be kicked off the program to preserve it for hardworking American citizens.
Hardworking American citizens. You know how much money over the years have been wasted and spent on this stuff? And again, we've covered this before. It's not like you just have a surgery and go on with your life. You have a life full of complications, medications that all taxpayers are paying for. I'm glad they got it out of the military. Again, we want able-bodied, physically fit, I think we can ask for that, and mentally fit people to serve in our military. And under this administration, I'm so happy that's happening. Here's another one. Just again, Clown World. We're starting off today with some Clown World. Meet Colombian national Lina Maria Orovia Hernandez, who is living in the U.S. illegally under a stolen identity. You know what she did? She voted in the 2024 election and received $400 $400,000 in taxpayer benefits. She was charged with false representation of a social security number, making a false statement in application for U.S. passport, aggravated identity theft, receiving stolen government money or property, fraudulent voter registration, and fraudulent voting. Now, I'm just going to put the picture up here right now. This is the person that's, you wouldn't see this happening under the previous administration. They would ensure that this person just got to go on and move along. But this is everything that Democrats said that isn't happening. $400,000 in taxpayer-funded benefits. I've heard Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff says they're just here to pick our vegetables. But what we have been providing each and every day to you here on the show is it's quite the opposite. Certainly there are some people that come over and just want to earn an honest living. Not gonna deny that. But when we have such a problem with the 21 million people that Biden let in, unvetted, unchecked, and now we got murders every day. We got shootings every day. We got human trafficking, drug trafficking, everything else. And I mean, more and more, we're getting just the onesie, twosie stories. But I think over the next year, we're going to see some mass either charges or arrests or deportations on these people that illegally voted in our elections. Check this out. I seen this the other day. It says student attacks security guard during a fight at Morton High School in Hammond, Indiana. Take a look at this. And this security guard wasn't having it. He laid into it. Look at that. I love the face. I'm going to see if I can back it up to right here. She hits the security guard. And right there, I don't know how clear that is for you, but that is the definition of find out. FAFO. And you know, you shouldn't ever be happy somebody's getting plowed, but I was so happy to see that. I think I can find another video here really quick. That was from a different angle, because that's what. There, take a look at this video. Let's see. This one better. This might be a little wider, actually. Let's see. Same video. I thought there was another one. There's been. Oh, here we go. He beat the bricks off her, and I just love it. Now, I haven't heard, but I'm sure there's going to be an outrage over that security guard, and I think he did exactly what needs to happen. These kids need to learn that you want to fool around, you're going to find out, and it's just incredible what these high schools have turned into. If you just search, I think it's just that high school in general, you'll find other videos inside the classrooms. This was nothing new, and something needs to happen. And I would be willing to say, you know what, if if he lost his job and there's a give, sing, go, I would drop 10, 20 bucks for him. I'm just saying that right now. Old Uncle Bill said it looks pretty diverse there. Yeah, you know what, Old Uncle Bill? That's an engineering school. It's an engineering. They're engineering the destruction of America over there. How about this? Now, this is a little video I want to show you. But again, the news has done a very good job recently keeping Doge out of the spotlight. And why is that? Because a lot of the stuff Doge uncovered. Remember, that's all we talked about was your data, was USAID, was all these different departments that were getting cuts, cutting out the fat, the waste, abuse, and fraud. I want you to watch this video right here because I think it explains the reason why, I guess you could say legacy media don't talk about it anymore.
One loan. Mr. Secretary, I want to go back to some of your earlier testimony, be sure I heard it correctly. The 76-day period you're talking about, that's the period between the time that President Trump was elected and President Biden left office. Is that right?
That is correct.
And during that short period of time, 76 days, how much taxpayer money went out the door of the Department of Energy?
From the loan program office in loans and commitments, $93 billion.
93 billion.
Well over twice as much as in the previous 15 years. So
how do you vet?
Listen to that for a second. I'm going to back that up. This is important.
Period of time, 76 days. How much taxpayer money went out the door of the Department of Energy?
From the loan program office in loans and commitments, $93 billion.
$93 billion went out. The second Trump won the election and they had to Democrats had to funnel their money. And what do you say? That's double what has happened over the last 15 years. This was 76 days, folks. This is where we need charges and we need people to go to jail. Listen to this.
Well over twice as much as in the previous 15 years. So
how do you vet and do due diligence on a loan in 76 days? One loan, much less $93 billion. How do you do it?
I think it's probably pretty clear it wasn't done in many cases. As I mentioned, I'm told I'm holding back clearly in place stuff. There is lots of funds that have gone out the door and commitments that were made from businesses that provided no business plan, no numbers about their own financial solvency or how this project.
So you're telling me that the Department of Energy, in the 76-day period before their boss was going to leave office, gave or loaned money to entities that had no business plan?
Correct.
No financials?
Correct. A number of those were were before the 76-day period as well. I've come in with great concern about how this institution, this great American institution, has been run and how American taxpayer money has been handled. I'm sorry everyone's upset that we're taking some time to do it, but what we've seen and what the record shows,
I'm not upset. Could it be that a lot of people say you haven't returned your calls? Could it be that you and your colleagues have returned the calls, but the people calling just didn't like the answer? Could that be a possibility?
I'm not aware of that. You know, I give my cell phone number to any senator that wants it, and I return my calls.
I mean, has your department gone dark? Somebody said your department's gone dark. Is it dark over there?
It doesn't look dark behind me.
I don't see any of you sitting on your hands. Somebody made that charge. I see everybody's hands. Let me ask you something else, Mr. Secretary. Does anybody ever come to the Department of Energy to get some of this free money and lie to you?
I have not experienced that, but I think it's a reasonable assumption that that has happened.
Does anybody ever come to you? Or is it conceivable that some of these folks that heard about this free money came to you with a half-baked idea?
I think it's very conceivable. In fact, I've seen such plans that were half-baked would be charitable.
That didn't have a business plan, right?
Correct. A promise to develop one, to find a location.
Just give me the money and I'll develop the plan later.
Correct.
And now you're going back through, not money that's already been contracted, but you're going back through and checking each one of these loans and these grants to make sure there was no stealing, aren't you?
We are.
We are. Make sure there was no incompetence, aren't you? Is that correct?
We're looking at that, and yeah, my blood pressure is rising right now just thinking about what we have seen and what did happen at the department.
And you're going to tell some of these boondoggles no, aren't you?
That's correct.
And they're going to be upset, aren't they?
That's correct.
And they ought to be upset, shouldn't they?
I don't think they should be upset. I think they should be ashamed.
It's rare that I'm speechless. But I want to be sure I understood. The people running the Department of Energy for President Biden's administration shoveled $93 billion, not million, $93 billion out the door in 76 days. And it just happened to be the time between when President Trump was elected and President Biden, their boss, was leaving. Is that right?
It is correct and distasteful. Confidence undermining.
In any real world atmosphere, in any government with accountability, there would be people held accountable. Democrats want to ignore this. It was their party that did it. It was their slush funds. It was a way to put money out there and in return get a lot of support and probably a lot of that money funneled back to them. We haven't discussed it yet, but there is going to be some investigations into Act Blue, the donation platform for Democrats, where a lot of, I think seven of their, I think it was 7 of their top officials have already resigned. You know, James O'Keefe did some of those videos, the undercover videos, going knocking door to door. What we have here is a money laundering department. That's what, you know, I mean, when we talked about Doge in the first place, we talked about Democrats officially getting exposed. That's why they hated Doge. And I can't put into words how bad I want these folks to be held accountable. That was your tax dollars. That was our tax dollars. When they talk about, oh, there's this we could be funding. What about these poor kids? Hey, guess what? If we took the money that you guys blow on other countries and funnel back to yourselves, there wouldn't be any kids that went hungry. We know that. But they don't want to cut off their slush fund. Now, really quick, we're going to go into this. I thought this was amazing. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. Just the other day, what's her name? Let me see if I have it up here. Harmeet Dillon. I don't have it up there, but I remembered it. Harmeet Dillon sued the city of Chicago for their discriminatory hiring practice, or opened an investigation. The mayor came straight out and said, you know, I hire black people. This person's black. This person's black. all this stuff, which we already knew was going on. When we actually covered the NGOs and the illegals in Chicago, they made sure that all the companies that were dealing with the NGOs, like providing illegal aliens food 3 times a day at a cost of, what was it, $73 a day, that they made sure that that went to a black-owned business. Not, hey, we're going to go out, see who can do the best job. We're going to see who can do this. Well, he's also associated with PSL, the Party of Socialism and Liberation, which, if you guys don't remember, just 2 days ago, one of their supporters killed 2 folks outside. I mean, cold blood. We covered it yesterday. Cold blood, back of the head. Shot them again when they were crawling. Supported the Party of Socialism and Liberation. We've covered them time and time again. We see them out at protests. We see them out at college campuses. Listen to Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson when he sidesteps a question on his association with the extremist group. Now, I want to warn you, you live in any larger city, even smaller ones, you probably have city council members or somebody of that nature that have direct ties with the Party of Socialism and Liberation. And here in Fresno, you have Miguel Arias. But take a listen to this.
The shooter is identified as being part of, or a former member, rather, of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. And there are that's an organization that you've been friendly with, and that organization invites extremism. Can you react to those concerns?
Well, I think extremism on both ends are detrimental and harmful to our humanity. I am not connected to any level of extremism on the right or the left. I think it's important here that I have demonstrated over and over again my commitment to humanity. This is the time in which we have to give that much more attention to the Jewish community, and we're going to continue to do that. All acts of extremism in this city, I have condemned, and we will continue to do that.
Mayor, if I can follow up with that, and then my follow-up question will be to the superintendent. But at the May Day rally over in Union Park that you participated in, I was also members of the 2 organizations that Elias Rodriguez was associated with, the PSL and the Answer. We're both there, and there was chants of Free Palestine and others, I'm told, before you came on stage. Is there a little disconnect here that you're at this event where these same organizations are associated with the suspect we're at?
So as you know, the history of May Day is standing up for workers. There's a long history of the city of Chicago leading the effort to ensure that workers are valued and seen. As someone who is deeply connected to the labor movement, as a city that is the most pro-worker city in America, that's what that rally and that May Day is all about. It's celebrating the accomplishments that the labor movement has led. The 8-hour workday, better wages and benefits. In fact, it was Dr. King that described so eloquently that the civil rights movement and the labor rights movement were one and the same. We are living out the hopes and aspirations of labor and civil rights. That's what the May Day rally was about.
So once again, we know this is an open borders mayor with, I think, more than ties to the extremist group Party of for Socialism and Liberation. I would love to see that group be designated a terrorist group. I would love that. And I think that might be coming. I think there's probably talks. We've seen them on college campuses. We've seen, again, any group that openly roots against America and what our founders intended for this great country should be labeled as such. It's crazy. But that was in regards to the terrorist who shot the 2 folks down there in Washington, D.C., outside the Capitol Jewish Museum. And then this report came out. Dad, I want to put it up here really quick. Dad of suspected terrorist Elias Rodriguez was invited to the Trump address by left-wing Democrat lawmaker. So it says the father of the terrorist who murdered 2 Israeli embassy staffers was honored by Rep. Chuy Garcia, a Democrat out of Illinois, with an invite to Trump's joint address to Congress in March. Again, I think once again, when you talk about terrorism, I know they Democrats, whatever they point the finger at, that finger's usually pointing back at them. Ian Omar saying, we got to watch white men. And I look at the news and I cover the news. Now, it doesn't matter your color of skin. There's going to be crime. But when you look at crime statistics, if you look at violent crimes, it's not going to be a majority white if you do it per capita. And I have a feeling these people will never be held accountable. But a lot of these Democrats, especially in places like Chicago or even Illinois, it's very, very corrupt. These people are not held accountable. They're not beholden to their constituents, and they are beholden to the extremist parties. I mean, just like we go back 15 years, and I remember I was involved in politics to the point 15 years ago where I was reading up. Who are these people? Why? I remember 15 years ago, Code Pink jumping up on stage where Nancy Pelosi was and making her into press conference early. And I paid attention to all that. And then what I learned is it's very similar to BLM, the Black Lives Matter movement. When they were burning down Minneapolis, they got their ways. They got the police defunded. They got the reform that they were asking for. And guess what? Now their Black communities live worse off and are less safe. And that's unfortunate. This hate, this TDS, this anti-Semitism, it breeds deep. Stop Anti-Semitism tweeted this out. Virginia patients beware of Dr. Muhammad Mahmoud, who spreads extreme anti-Zionist messaging, raising serious concerns about his ability to ethically treat Jewish patients. I wouldn't even say just Jewish patients, anybody that's probably a conservative or a Christian for that matter. He calls Zionists subhuman, says all Zionists are bastards, shares images claiming peace will come only when Israel ceases to exist, and promotes genocidal rhetoric calling for the erasure of millions of Jews from the world's only Jewish state. This is that doctor there. Kind of scary. It says, Robert J., if they support terrorist state of Israel, a fictional country, yes, of course. You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist. You just have to be subhuman. All Zionists are bastards. He shared that. The last day, protest at DC at the anti-Israel, a fictional country embassy today. This person, again, Lewis Gale Hospital, Montgomery, full-time family medicine. I stand with Palestine, Muslim, LinkedIn influencer, college drug. I look at this stuff and I'm like, man, I remember when I was going, I had some health problems, and not just that, even if you guys remember a few years back, I had a major back surgery. I had to go to all kind of different specialists. I had to go to pain management. And I remember I'd have my MAGA hat on and I'd go into the doctor's office and I'd look at Rachel and think, man, if they have TDS, they're going to screw me over. Should I not wear this? And I continued to wear it. I wore a MAGA hat on the day of my surgery. And, but we've seen this time and time again. This display. I mean, you hold, when you get into the medical field, it don't matter. I know some people even on our side get upset if a gunman opens fire in a school and kills 3 children. and that gunman goes to the hospital, you have to give him the same treatment that you would give your pastor. Just a code of ethics. And people's like, just let him die. Well, unfortunately, that's how they feel about Jews and Christians. Some of these doctors, nurses, and it's just crazy. Before I go any further, guys, we are heading to DC in less than 3 weeks. We need your help. We wanted to get, I don't know if we'll make it today, but we wanted to get the hotel. I looked again last night, and the prices are going up each and every day as we get closer. And so if you guys want to help us, we are 100% viewer funded. We will be bringing you live streams throughout DC. We will be bringing you videos of that parade and all the events going on surrounding that parade. From what I understand, it's they're going to have events going on every day for a week prior to that parade. If you guys want to help us with the hotel, we would appreciate it. Your donations is how we get the hotel. You can go to donate at Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo 2024. And we also have a Zelle link, and the Zelle link is provided on our website. If you do online banking and just want to transfer that way, you can go to theoreoexpress.com, scroll down our homepage, and there'll be a donate now button with those links. So I want to say thank you to everyone who has helped out and that is helping out. There's a big push today because, like I said, I'd love to get it reserved tonight. I know more now that they've opened up tickets for the parade. There's going to be more and more people planning that trip. This is historic. And not only that, it's triggering the liberals because it's pro-military, pro-America event. So I wanted to cover this. Again, we've talked about this. Yes, Renee, thank you so much for your Cash App after the live stream last night. I appreciate you. We covered this, I think it was about a little over a week ago, that Los Angeles is trying to do what Gavin Newsom did to fast food, which has destroyed fast food, which has closed some fast food, which has killed fast food jobs, is he put a $20 minimum wage into effect. $20 to work at Taco Bell or McDonald's. It's why you go in California, there's kiosks there. I mean, there's a McDonald's that we went to a couple months ago, and you walk in, there is a hole in the front right here where your food comes out. You need to, you don't even get, they didn't even have a register to order from. So nobody's wasting the time. They're not wasting the time on a cashier. They had the kiosks. And now, because of all these regulations and rules, you even have, they are working on a drive-through AI machine. I can't remember if it was Taco Bell or who it was, but I seen a video of it, and you literally go up there, sounds like a normal person. Hi, welcome to McDonald's. What can we get for you today? And you get your order. It repeats your order back. Probably more efficient than a human, sadly to say. And that takes out that whole job there. And this is what Democrats are pushing for, unfortunately. Well, in LA, they want to force hotels to pay a minimum wage starting at $30. And then by 2028, that will be $38 and something cents. So, and I'm not bashing people that do these jobs, but understand, and I think you guys do, I don't care if you spent your whole life as a maid at a hotel, at a, whatever. I don't care. But what I am trying to say is they're taking these entry level, they're hard jobs. They're not easy jobs. I wouldn't want to do it, but I could. Jobs that where you get people that they don't need to know math. They don't need to know how to read. All they need to know how to do is clean a room and make a bed. And giving them this exorbitant rate. And this was a Los Angeles Times article. It said, this was on May 13th. said, faced with a $30 minimum wage, hotel investors start looking outside LA. So if you have a hotel chain or you want to build a hotel chain, you go where there's less regulations and less mandates or tyranny on what you have to pay the employees. Now, this isn't the end of this. Let me pull this one up. It says, and this was May 20. This was from yesterday. It says Los Angeles City Council approves hiking hotel minimum wage for hotel and airport workers to $38.35 phased in by 2028. So what do you think that does? I'll tell you what it does. You can go to restaurants now. Well, I used fast food as an example. You can go to restaurants now where they have that little robot that comes out with your plate on it. IHOP right here in my town, and we're not a big city. IHOP has it. You can sit right there. When your food's ready, the chef puts it on the table or on the cart, and it goes directly to your table. Takes away, again, this is just the beginning. Self-checkout. And I'll be honest, a lot of times I do like self-checkout. I'm just going to be honest with you. And it depends where I am. A lot of places you go to self-checkout, the people you're dealing with, they're just not happy. So I don't want to deal with people that don't smile at me and say, how's your day going? So now they're getting some backlash. This is saying that LA's new $38.35 hotel minimum wage will kill more jobs after city lost 11,000 hotel jobs in 2024. They lost 11,000 hotel jobs last year. And think about it. It should have been a good year. For everybody. I mean, I could see COVID being a bad year when there was all these mandates, people weren't traveling. But 11,000 jobs lost in 2024. And now they're doing this. And now LA hotels have threatened to withdraw from the Olympic deal over the minimum wage hike. I love this. Play ball. Usually I'm not on the side of big business, but right here, I'm like, play ball. You have Democrat policies that make it almost impossible to survive in LA. So what do? Well, a one bedroom's $2,800 a month. Well, let's just give these low-level employees almost $40 an hour. Oh, what do we got here? We got a Rumble rant. It says, thank you, Oreo fam, for helping Josh get to see DC. You are all appreciated more than you know. We need him out there showing us the true news. He's our journalist. He's the news. And I know cut off. Thank you, Jaylen. And Renee says, I'll match that, Jaylen. Thank you guys for helping out. We appreciate you. Again, we will be in DC and we'll be rocking the streets, guys. But this right here, I want the hotels to say, listen, we're done with the Olympics. We're not going to help you out with the Olympics. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. And just put it back on them. Let them eat their own crow. Because again, everything Democrat, half the damn city burnt down because of Democrat failures. Imagine that. But we'll see. We're going to follow that up. And just, I don't know how many of you use X a lot. I use X a lot. I'm on it quite a bit more than anything else. But there was people complaining that the DMs were down. Now, I don't use DMs hardly ever. I don't even use text messages on my phone hardly ever. And if you know me, you know that. But somebody said that there was a couple different things I heard of, and maybe you guys know what happened. Texas Bigfoot, thank you. I seen the coin jump up there on the screen right behind you, Renee. Thank you, Texas Bigfoot. It says fire breaks out at data center leased by Elon Musk. It says a fire here. I'm going to put this up here A fire broke out Thursday morning at a data center in Hillsboro, Oregon, leased by Elon Musk X, forcing extended response from emergency crews, according to multiple sources. The sources required anonymity as they aren't authorized to speak publicly about the company. Says firefighters arrived at Hillsboro Technology Park in a suburb of West Portland at 10:21 a.m. According to Hillsboro Fire and Rescue spokesman, they found a room with batteries that were deemed to be involved in the fire. They noted that the fire had not spread to other parts of the building, but said the room in question was heavy with smoke. So I heard that. I know there's been yesterday, there was attacks, the DDoS attacks that were affecting X and shutting it down for some users. And then I hear this, somebody put this up. I don't know if we've covered it, but Elon Musk is trying to make X the everything. You'll be able to transfer money on there. You'll be able to do everything. And I love that idea. But they are switching DMs to X chat pretty soon. It's going to be able to do some other stuff. And then this is what Grok gave a response to someone. Direct messages on X are currently experiencing issues due to a transition to a new messaging system called XChat, which includes features like encryption and file sharing. This rollout, reported in April 2025, has caused temporary glitches such as messages not loading, failing to send, or being inaccessible, as noted in users' complaints and down detector data from May 22nd, which was yesterday. The problem began surfacing prominently on May 27th, with users reporting errors like something went wrong. So I don't know what it is. The first article I showed you was from a fake news website that said it was because of a fire. And I noticed they had to place batteries in there. You know what I mean? Just trying to, like they do when Tesla's getting wrecks and catch on fires. What do we got here? We got Jan Garner, challenge accepted. Thank you so much, Jan. Appreciate your guys' support. It's a blessing to be able to hit the road and take you all with us. Thank you so much. So I'll look into that more. Maybe I'll give you an update on our next show. Check this out. We talk about Russia and Ukraine quite a bit, probably Ukraine a little bit more, because the frustrations with a country that just takes our tax dollars constantly. It says happening now, Russia and Ukraine have begun a large exchange of prisoners of war, the Russian Defense Ministry said. It said with around 1,000 soldiers from each side expected to be swapped at the Ukraine-Belarus border when completed. Now, this isn't a step in the right direction. I don't care if you don't like Russia, if you don't like Ukraine. I kind of don't like either one of them, to be honest with you. I like America. That's where my loyalty lies. But if they can get this over with and stop killing these people, these young men and women, I'm all for it. Old Uncle Bill says $10 left for my $50 match challenge. Thank you for doing a match challenge, Old Uncle Bill. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Donald Trump put this out. A major prisoner swap was just completed between Russia and Ukraine. It will go into effect shortly. Congratulations to both sides on this negotiation. This could lead to something big. We can only hope and pray, right? We don't know. We have two kind of dictators, both Russia and Ukraine. I would consider like Zelensky's not the elected president there. We've covered that before, so we'll see how that goes. And that's all I want. I want peace. I want to stop having to fund, because we're still funding Ukraine. So this is pretty good. I like this. I like this. Now, other stuff from Donald J. Trump, the 45th and 47th president. He announced this today. The European Union, which was formed for primary purpose of taking advantage of the United States on trade, has been very difficult to deal with. Their powerful trade barriers, VAT taxes, ridiculous corporate penalties, non-monetary trade barriers, monetary manipulations, unfair and unjustified lawsuit against American companies, and more have led to a trade deficit with the U.S. of more than, what is that, 250, is that billion or million a year? I think that's million. Which is totally unacceptable. Our discussions with them are going nowhere. Therefore, I am recommending a straight 50% tariff on the European Union starting on June 1st, 2025. There is no tariff if the product is built or manufactured in the United States. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I would have to agree with what we've seen in the European Union. Trump has made this statement numerous times before about the European Union being formed to primarily take advantage of the U.S., and they have done that. Whether it's what they pay for prescription, we subsidize a lot of their prescriptions from American companies. We've learned that over the last couple weeks. What you could pay for $897 here in the United States, you pay $112 because, well, and it's not bad on their part. They negotiated and said, well, we'll let the United States take care of the R&D of the medicine. We just want our end users to get it at an affordable price. This will be interesting. I know the stock market, let me see where the stock market, I know it went down for a little while, which is all speculative. But let's see. Today live chart. I want the chart. United States, US 500. No, that's not what I want. Why did it pull me up to this one and not one that I pull up all the time? Let's see. Give me 1 second. You know what? I wonder. Let's look at the S&P 500 today live. So S&P is down 0.30%. Let's check the Dow. .25%, not just 0.25% down. So it'll be interesting how this works and see. Also, the European Union announced a trade deal today, or a minerals deal. And that's got some people speculating Trump will go after him even more. So, yeah, it's pretty much where we started, 0.24% down. Not that big of an effect. So we'll follow up on that. We'll probably cover some of that in our next show as well. And we'll go from there. Also, Trump was on a roll today, guys. I have long ago informed Tim Cook of Apple that I expected their iPhones that will be sold in the United States will be manufactured and built in the United States, not India or any place else. If this is not the case, a tariff of at least 25% must be paid by Apple to the U.S. Thank you for your attention in this matter. This man's putting America first. Again, I love when all these people that hate capitalism start saying, well, your iPhone's going to cost you now $1,600. Nobody pays full price for an iPhone. I probably 98% of iPhones, you're on a monthly contract, so it would go up from $32 a month to $35 a month. And not just that, there's a good part of me that thinks, well, you know what? with automation and everything else, they could bring some of that manufacturing back into the United States. So, oh, my sister donated on Venmo. Thank you so much. Appreciated you. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for helping out. I do appreciate it. Again, we will be in DC in less than 3 weeks, so that will be epic. So we'll find out what happens and what goes on with Tim Cook, Apple, all these things. Again, the economy should already be crashed right now. We should all be homeless and all our food shelves would be empty. I mean, that's what Democrats told us 60 days ago. Actually, we're going to get into it in a minute. If you take inflation, I'm not going to ruin it. I'm going to let you guys see it when it happens because it's Memorial Day weekend. Listen to Scott Bassett right here.
Again, the president is trying to bring back. Again, the president is trying to bring back precision manufacturing to the U.S. And I think that one of our greatest vulnerabilities, are this external production, especially in semiconductors, and a large part of Apple's components are in semiconductors. So we would like to have Apple help us make the semiconductor supply chain more secure.
Pretty simple. It's a national security issue too. We've seen what happened during COVID. Actually, we've seen in the past what happens just from a port shutdown when people go on strike, and how auto parts, when that happened, I remember I needed a part for my car. I was in manufacturing at one of the shutdowns, and we were air freighting stuff in from manufacturers across the world because our products was stuck outside of a port at Long Beach. And I remember the cost and everything, and we couldn't find American manufacturers that made this stuff. And that was 10 years ago. How about this? Promises made. Karen, thank you so much. Challenge accepted. Thanks, Karen. Appreciate you.
Trump pressuring oil companies to increase their production.
It's going to be the cheapest Memorial Day since 2021. But if you adjust for inflation and rising wages, Americans are actually going to spend the least amount filling up this Memorial Day since 2003.
So in case you need a translator, that's dirt cheap. Since 2003, when you take inflation into account, and this doesn't include California, California's gas prices continue to raise, and they'll go up again. I believe it's June or July 1st, up to 46 to 63 cents a gallon. Thank you, Gavin Newsom. Thank you, Democrats here in California. But look at this. This should be the biggest news. This affects everything. You want to talk about trickle down? Companies are spending less money on delivering product, which in turn gives the end user lower cost for their goods. This has so many effects. This is Trump's energy policy in effect. Listen to this.
Excluding COVID.
Well, that's the information we like to hear. This Memorial Day weekend, we could see some of the best gas prices in years. Experts say it's due to oil prices dropping about 20% since the middle of January, and President Trump pressuring oil companies to increase their production.
Thank you, President Trump. I did hear on ABC News last night, they kind of talked about it, but you know what they said? They didn't give Trump credit. They said, how did they word it? Oh, they talked about how many people would be on the road this weekend for Memorial Day, how many millions of people would travel. And they said that was due to lower cost of fuel. How about this? Another one.
36 cents the same time Some good news for drivers. We are seeing the lowest Memorial Day weekend gas prices since 2021, according to Gas Buddy. So we'll show you a live look now at gas prices here on Gorman Street in Raleigh. $2.99 a gallon here at this Exxon, and it's the same price over there across the street at the BP. This morning, gas prices in North Carolina are below the national average. New numbers released from AAA earlier this morning show.
Look at that, almost $2 less a gallon. That's 288's the average. Last year it was 336, and in June of 2022 it was 466 a gallon. More winning, thank you, Trump.
The average price of gas today in our state is $2.88 a gallon. It was $3.36 this same time last year. Gas prices were at the highest in June 2022, averaging $4.66 a gallon. Some good news for drivers. We are seeing the lowest
on this. This is a victory lap, guys. The Rapid Response 47 tweeted this out. And again, if you notice, the second one didn't do the inflation, but still, I'll take those news articles. Take a look at this. Cheapest Memorial Day weekend gas prices in years. Gas prices hit 4-year low ahead of Memorial Day weekend. During holidays, they're supposed to go up. That's what happens. The demand goes up, the price goes up. Cheaper gas prices could lead to record travel numbers. These are all things that we voted for, and I'm happy to say this will lead to some other stuff. Now, yesterday, I wanted to cover this really quick. Yesterday, you had Kristi Noem come out and say they were taking away Harvard's ability for foreign exchange students because Harvard was actively defying their request for some of the students' information that were being violent on campus, that were being anti-Semitic on campus, that were not allowing certain folks on campus, violating those other students' civil rights. And I want you to listen to this. I just love this.
What do you make of this move against? What do you make of this move? What do you make of this move against Harvard?
Well, I also went to Harvard, and I can tell you 35 years ago when I was there, you saw a lot of this stuff, but I never felt unsafe as a Jewish student being there. That's what's different today. And if I were to make any encouragement to President Trump and Secretary Noem, it would be do this everywhere. We should not be bringing people into America to get an education who hate us. They should be coming here to get an education, and frankly, they should keep their mouths shut beyond that. I don't go into someone else's house and complain about it when I'm there. They're guests in our country, and they should realize that. And there's a real problem with folks not understanding that.
They're guests in our country, and they should realize that. I don't go into someone else's house and start complaining. Again, it is a privilege. I know Democrats want to act like somehow they're entitled to be in our country. They're not. Let's get them out. I'm done with it. Many of them get their education here, go back to their country. They hate America. They want to destroy everything that America stands for, but they get their education here, go back home, and Micro Taz, thank you so much, Micro Taz. You guys heard it, ding. And old Uncle Bill, thank you so much for your donation. And Micro Taz, thank you guys for helping us out today and letting us get the hotel room secured for DC. Thank you. I seen this article too. When was this article? Let me see if it shows a date. I don't know when it shows a date, but Harvard, check this out. Harvard comes in dead last in nationwide free speech rankings. This is the second consecutive year that Harvard was found to be the worst college or university for free speech. Its climate of free speech was deemed to be abysmal. And that's free speech for one side, by the way. Because, again, they don't mind if they have pro-Hamas groups destroying their college, assaulting their students, taking away from students that are paying for that college. And so right after that, now remember, this was issued yesterday. Within 24 hours, less than 24 hours, Judge Allison Burroughs blocks Trump's administration from pausing foreign admission at Harvard. I don't know. I'm not going to be a judgmental, but I have an idea she don't like Trump. That's the judge right there. And every time the executive branch tries to do something that puts America first. When Trump got in there was no lies what he would do. He said he would take money from colleges. He said he would take any action needed to provide safe, clean education for our students, our American citizen students. He wasn't worried about foreign students. And so as it was yesterday, Harvard did shoot back. I think we'll cover this a little bit more, but this was the AP's report. It says a federal judge blocks the Trump administration decision to bar foreign student enrollment at Harvard. Again, I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if we go to a DC for the military parade and there's a federal judge that's blocked it. I'm just saying. I am just saying. Remember when Elon Musk got the stranded astronauts off the space station and brought back down safely to Earth after, 8-9 months? There was some funny memes going around saying federal judge blocks that trip and demands Musk return those astronauts back to the space station. And I thought, that's the world we're living in right now. And it's unfortunate. How about this? I love me some J.D. Vance more and more each day. He gave the commencement speech at the U.S. Naval Academy. Take a listen.
That guard our waters and the weapons that you will use. For a brief time, we were a superpower without any peer. Nor did we believe any foreign nation could possibly rise to compete with the United States of America. And so our leaders traded hard power for soft power. We stopped making things, everything from cars to computers to the weapons of war, like the ships that guard our waters and the weapons that you will use in the future. Why did we do that? Well, too many of us believed that economic integration would naturally lead to peace by making countries like the People's Republic of China more like the United States. Over time, we were told the world would converge toward a uniform set of bland, secular, universal ideals, regardless of culture or country. And those that didn't want to converge, well, our policymakers would make it their goal to force them by any means necessary. So instead of devoting our energies to responding to the rise of near-peer competitors like China, our leaders pursued what they assumed would be easy jobs for the world's preeminent superpower. How hard could it be to build a few democracies in the Middle East? Well, almost impossibly hard, it turns out, and unbelievably costly. And it wasn't our politicians who bore the consequences of such a profound miscalculation. It was the American people, to the tune of trillions of dollars, but more than anyone, it was borne by the people who were in your shoes just a few short years ago, by our service members and their families. The tens of thousands of warfighters who sacrificed precious time, energy, and in some cases, their very lives in the line of duty. They are the ones who bore the costs of past failure. Our leaders abandoned clearly stated strategic goals for lofty, often incoherent abstractions. This is how, for example, we wound up chasing a $230 million pier in Gaza that worked for a grand total of 20 days while injuring over 60 American service members in the construction and maintenance of that pier. Our government took its eye off the ball of great power competition and preparing to take on a peer adversary. And instead, we devoted ourselves to sprawling, amorphous tasks like searching for new terrorists to take out while building up faraway regimes. Now, I want to be clear. The Trump administration has reversed course. No more undefined missions. No more open-ended conflicts. Returning to a strategy grounded in realism and protecting our core national interests. Now, this doesn't mean that we ignore threats, but it means that we approach them with discipline, and that when we send you to war, we do it with a very specific set of goals in mind.
Amen. Amen.
For a brief time,
I just thought that was epic. He shook every single one of those graduates' hands. They were excited, and it was just great. Let me see if there was another one on here that I had posted up.
Aside, how does it feel to have an enlisted Marine as vice president speaking today?
It's honestly an incredible honor. I mean, former and fellow prior enlisted, it really speaks to, it's a reminder that it doesn't, being enlisted or where you start off doesn't define how far you go. And that leadership grounded in service is both powerful and very deeply respected.
Amen. Amen. That is awesome. Really quick, let me put this up there really quick. Just love that, don't you guys? Just love having a totally different atmosphere in this country. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee. Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped, only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits harder than a CNN fact check, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus with no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin free and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic, a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler that says, "I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch." $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe. And we appreciate the opportunity to be on Rumble. If it wasn't for Rumble, if it wasn't for all this, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here, guys. You guys know that how bad that the censorship was. And before we get going, take a listen to this. If you guys know, part of the big beautiful bill will hire 10,000 more ICE agents. And Democrats hate that. But listen to this.
We begin with breaking news. Federal agents arrest 2 men in a mass shooting in Chicago. One of those arrests happening on the East Coast.
Our Suzanne Lomagno joins us now live from the newsroom with the breaking details. Suzanne?
Joe, Erica, it was a crime that shocked the Chicago Lawn neighborhood. Gunfire killed 3 people and injured 5 others at a birthday party inside a house there. Now, 5 months later, immigration authorities say they captured 2 gunmen. Red crime tape and blue police lights take over a normally quiet residential block.
It's a devastating tragedy that happened.
The alderwoman speaking for the community as a whole at the time.
There were just people who weren't used to that in that community and were really upset by the event.
And now today, Pastor Donovan Price reacting to the news that these 2 men have been arrested by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
And it's good for the city. It's good for the morale of the city to see that tragic events like this in particular can come to a close, can be solved.
On the left, Edward Martinez Cermeño, picked up in January in Schaumburg. On the right, Ricardo Granadillo Padilla, arrested in February in North Carolina. ICE says both were shooters at the Chicago Lawn House party, and both are Venezuelan nationals that entered the country illegally. ICE is also showing off this collection of weapons, ammo, and drugs seized from Granadillo Padilla's home in Chicago. Immigration officials claim these are members of the Tren de Aragua gang, encountered during the North Carolina operation that took place in February. ICE says they've arrested 16 additional gang members and people connected to the two gunmen in recent weeks.
And in this case, they were followed and it didn't work out for them. And hopefully that'll lead a message to other criminals who might have that same intent.
Both of the alleged gunmen are in federal custody. One has already been sentenced for coming to the United States illegally. The other still facing illegal immigration charges.
I'm telling you guys right now, illegal aliens don't commit crimes. They're just here to pick vegetables. I've heard it from Nancy Pelosi. I've heard it from Adam Schiff. I've heard it from Hakeem Jeffries. This is going on more and more. Did you see that cache of weapons that MS-13 gang member from Venezuela had? Now, I haven't heard yet, but I'm sure within a week we're going to give you some type of breaking story where a judge is ordering them to be released. Some rogue Democrat judge. And it's absolutely mind-boggling. It's disgusting. Taxpayers are paying for these judges. But again, the good spot. What's the good spot? Is that yesterday's big, beautiful bill will allow ICE to hire 10,000 more of these agents that are out on the street and getting out these gang members, making communities safer. With people like that off the streets, your community is safer. And so I think that's going to be a huge one. I want to say thank you for all you guys tuning in. We will have an afternoon show today, so stay tuned. It'll probably be about 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. And again, if you guys want to help donate to our hotel fund for DC, we will be there in less than 3 weeks. We will be at the parade, the military parade. That's just going to be epic. We're going to talk about it in the next show a little bit more about what's all going on there, how many service members are going to be there and everything else. So if you guys do want to donate, we are 100% viewer funded. You can go to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And then if you do Zelle, you can do the Zelle transfer from your mobile banking app. You can go to our website, theoreoexpress.com. On our homepage, scroll down. There is a Donate Now button. The inside there is our links, including Zelle, to donate to us. Want to say thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you here in a little while. Thank you to everybody who donated, everybody who's helping us out. Again, thank you for being part of the Oreo Army, and we appreciate you.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
The Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fighter, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. picket booths, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll.